Hi, Luke Storey here, host of the Life Stylist Podcast. I'm making this video to indicate to you where you can find episode 276 of the show with our guest, Dr. Rashid Buttar. Now, the reason I was forced to make this video is because the overlords of censorship here at YT decided to delete the video because it contained the words plan plus demic in the title. Now, shortly after I released this episode, there was a documentary of the same name, which was flagged by a number of different platforms, not the least of which being heavily censored here on the big YT. So I decided to post the video elsewhere and give you an explanation here along with a link below in order to circumvent the abuse of the First Amendment and to encourage and celebrate our God-given right for freedom of speech and freedom of press as promised and guaranteed under the First Amendment of the United States of America, from which I currently record this video. So you can click on the link below and be guided to this incredibly fascinating conversation with Dr. Buttar, who's been one of the most highly educated and outspoken critics, I would say, of the current narrative in terms of the worldwide health crisis or perceived crisis that we're currently facing. So here, my friends, is what we discuss in the interview that you can find again at the link below. The draconian tech censorship we're now facing and how to beat it. I think this video is indicative of that topic. Whether or not this virus is real or a manufactured bioweapon. The patents on the virus and the vaccine for the virus and who owns them. The flawed COVID testing and widespread false positives. If the fifth generation of wireless technology is related, and if so, how. The fact that doctors and nurses are reporting people being admitted with what looks like altitude sickness. The reason for so many reports of COVID cases where the fifth generation has not been activated of wireless technology, cellular service, etc. You can't say the word and the number G now because the bots on YouTube will take your channel down or take the video down. It's insanity. The conflicting personal reports from healthcare workers that indicate there are widespread cases in full hospitals, while other medical professionals report empty hospitals and very few cases. How Bill Gates became the face of the pandemic despite having no medical training or background and his obvious conflicts of interest. The idea that the end goal of this scenario is forced vaccinations for all. Fauci's shady background and the fact that he is very compromised in his relationships with the CDC, the WHO, Bill Gates, etc. And finally, how the mayor of LA recently announced financial incentives for people to snitch on their neighbors for breaking their quarantine orders. So I guess this is a controversial video. It wasn't meant to be that way. It was just meant to ask some questions. And apparently these questions go against the mainstream narrative and the narrative that's upheld by the controllers of the YT here. So I hope you're able to use the link below to get to the video that's hosted elsewhere. And I want to encourage all of you to share that link, not for the promotion of my show, but for the promotion of free speech. Hey, if you promote my show too, that's great. It's a side benefit. But I think it's time for all of us to find alternatives, whether we build them or support them, to platforms that support our God-given right to speak freely and to listen and to speak. And this is just something that I really value as an independent content creator. And that's why I made this video. So click the link below and I hope you enjoy it. Later.